At the Shack in Florida, my name's Larry Deal. My call sign, amateur radio, is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome to Ham Radio Live. If you've thought about getting your amateur radio license, a great way to do it is to contact a local amateur radio club to where you live. Now, that's not easy because there's not a big advertising budget for local ham radio clubs, but you can certainly find one by contacting a large organization. Try contacting the American Radio Relay League at www.arrl.org. Click on the Contact Us part. Just tell them you want to get your amateur radio license where you live in the world. They'll pop open their directory and get you back in an email they'll send you, a local to you amateur radio club. You contact the club, they'll help you to get your license, www.arrl.org. The show email is info@hamradiolive.org. If you have a question for our radio talk segments where we answer questions about various elements on the test, please let me know. We'll see what we can do to help you get that answered. Also, a Facebook page here as well. And you can also hear me occasionally on WRMI Shortwave. There are two shows that ICOM America thankfully sponsors. One of them is CQ Calling, powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham radio. And these are frequencies and times you can hear the show tomorrow on WRMI. Over the Horizon Radio is also broadcast over the weekends on WRMI. Popular music back on shortwave, and you can hear it worldwide on WRMI out of Okeechobee, Florida. Got a new question, and this is not going to be the question. We're going to do it right before your eyes. I can't wait because this is one that we have not answered yet. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up real quick because I think this is a good question. We've never asked it, but I'm interested in getting your opinion of this question. And I've been thinking, we talked about this a little bit during the show, but we're going to put today in the show. Today was a very big day trying to get stuff done. And hopefully give me just a quick second because I can get this done every time. And we'll just have to quick change of question every time we do this on today's show. Sorry about that. What's your opinion of tuning an amplifier on frequency? On frequency. Now, what does that mean? When you're on frequency listening to a call and you want to make a call to that station, right? And then somebody comes in with their amplifier, tube amp, always a tube amp, and then they will try and adjust the grid and the plate carefully, but it has to be done on that frequency. Can't be 5 or 10 down or 7 down or maybe 12 up. Has to be right on frequency. How do you feel about that? And think about that from a reception standpoint. Maybe you don't have an amplifier. Let me know your comments about that, and we'll make it part of this program's show. Thank you. It's good to see you today. Thanks for coming. It's an honor to do the show. It really is. Let's find out who's first, second, and third in the program. First up, Mr. Roger McKeon and Faithful Maggie. You've done it again, Roger. First up, and it's early on the coast. Wow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Give Roger a big beep, beep, please. Beep, beep. Welcome, Roger. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to you. Happy Wednesday, Roger. Good to see you, man. And a very good morning to you. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Second up, my friend Bill Myers from the state of Wisconsin. Bill, thank you for coming. Nice to see you. Give Kelly our best, please, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Andy from the UK is here. Hi, Andy. Mike 9, X-Ray, Tango, and Tango. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you, Andy. Thank you for coming today. It's great to see you. Jeff comes in fourth. He's all the way in Canada. Victor, Echo 3, Whiskey, Juliet. Just to make sure, he says, good day. Eh?
That's the last straw. Now I use my secret weapon.
He's being polite. It's okay. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Martin, my dear friend in Holland. It was good to talk to you yesterday. Martin has this very deep voice. It's very, very good. Very masculine. Sounds very good. You can tell he has been a person who has done radio before, and he's good at it. Pup Echo 9 Tango India Golf. Want to say hello and a big welcome to Holland and Rod, my dear friend Martin. Thank you, Martin. Welcome back. Good to have you today. Robert Varner joins us. Hi, Roger. Robert, thank you as well for putting your call sign in. Kilo Charlie 2 Tango Echo Lima all the way in New Jersey. Thank you. Hi, Robert. Good morning. Still morning here on the East Coast, too. Wicked Loud One, that's Tony. Tony, welcome. Sorry the call sign isn't here in the head right now, but we'll have you welcoming to the show at least. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Tony, good to see you, man. Nice talking to you yesterday, too. Popped in really quick on guest tour. Couldn't stay long, but, came back as soon as I could to do the other stuff that I had to say. Martin, hard to say. I'm sorry, my fave. It's okay. And thank you, Tony. Another great group, Chicago. I was recording music. When I do the show, let me just give you a little insight here. When I get things prepped for this program, I have to get up and walk and move and stretch. It's just part of my life. So at like 1 a.m. today, when I woke up and got out of bed, because my back was hurting, I was like, I should just go in and start prepping the show. But no, I have to sit down to do that. Stretching is better. So that's what we did. Anyway, thanks, Tony. Appreciate you liking that. Oh, my goodness. Look at this is Jenna. Hello, y'all, from Chile, Oregon. Big applause for Jenna. Thank you. Hi, Jenna. Welcome. First timer, I think. Janan, sorry. Please forgive me. My name's Larry Dio. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. It's an honor to have you. Thank you for coming to the show. First timer, I believe. Thank you. What a treat. And the original Grant Bob is here. Great to have you. No. It's a good thing. We love Mr. Grant Bob. Thank you. I thought so. Crowd changes his mind sometimes. Martin says 5 inches of snow over here. That's winter time. It's beautiful, right? Winter is the time to do it. You're not going to snow in the summer. Unless maybe like you're in the North Pole or something. Wicked Loud One, Jimi Hendrix said Terry Kath was the best guitarist. Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. Dawn, good evening and good morning and good night. November 5, Sierra Kilo Tango, welcome to the show. Good to have you, my friend. Paul Griffith, good morning from New Orleans. That's Kilo Echo 5 Whiskey, Mike Alpha. Welcome, my friend. Hi, Paul. I think you're a first timer as well. Thanks for coming to the program. What a treat for me. Thank you for being here today. Martin from Holland says, today's topic question, do not do this on frequency, please. And you know what? That's interesting. We'll talk. M. Dor, hello, folks, from snowy Ontario. Yes, sir. Wicked Low, and it's Tony. Today's topic question, just downright rude. Oh, boy. And Martin comes in, tuning on frequency. No. Don, he says, what about a 220-meter dipole at half wave above the ground? That is a joke. 6/6/6 stacked array on 20 meters. He saw the previous topic question. Big applause. Thank you. Yeah. I wasn't able to change it quickly. I got everything else in the show. There's a lot in this show today. I hope you like it. And I didn't quite get the topic question, but it'll be on here from now. And Don, that's an amazing antenna and also pricey. Yes, it is. Original Grant Bob is inconsiderate and just wrong. And he's talking about the program. No, he's not talking about the program. He's talking about tuning up on frequency when you got the tube amp. Thank you. I appreciate that. Andy, just bad operating, Larry, when they do that. Wow, this has kind of become a very one-sided comment. Appreciate that. Thanks, Andy. M. Dor, don't do it. That's just a rude, pardon the classical orchestra analogy, as applauding after a solo when the piece or movement's not even done yet. That might be the comment of today's show. He uses a metaphor to describe how bad it is, right? Say you're at, let's say, a beautiful orchestral event, and they've got a soloist, right? Just a second. The soloist completes their solo. The orchestra is still in the middle of the program, the middle of the play or the movement they're doing. And then the audience just claps and yay, the soloist has done a great job. But yet the orchestra is still playing, right? That's a neat analogy. Appreciate that, Amdor. Thank you. Jeff, today's question, tuning on frequency is self-centered and ignorant to others sharing the frequency. Amdor, just don't do it. Tune the amplifier discreetly. Don't be that person. Because I know we have new hams, people who want to be in amateur radio, want to be licensed, watch this program. And I want to make sure they understand the question, all right? There are two different kinds of amplifiers in amateur radio. One is a solid state, doesn't require tubes. It uses transistors with which to raise the power of your signal. The other one is a tube amplifier. Yes, we still actually have tubes here in ham radio. And those have to be specifically tuned for the frequency the radio is at. It requires adjusting the plate and the grid voltage. When you're doing that, you're sending out a signal somewhere. Typically, unfortunately, some people do it right on the frequency that they're going to work at. Now, if you wanted to tune that amplifier maybe 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 kilohertz down, it's still going to have just about as much power. You're not going to really notice any difference than you would if you tuned up right on that frequency. That's why we asked this question today. The tuning sound is very high-pitched tone that will get louder and louder and louder. Then it goes down a little bit, then up again. That's the adjustment of the amplifier when they're adjusting the plate and grid voltage to the antenna. That's why you hear that. So what we're asking is, what's your opinion of people doing that right on the calling frequency, meaning the person that has the radio on the other end who's trying to call CQ around the world? That's why we ask the question, so that hopefully helps. Bill Myers, I think it's very rude to tune up an amplifier on the frequency. There's a special place in heck reserved for hams that tune on frequency and people that talk in the theater. No. That's pretty funny, actually. I like that. Skeeter, welcome. Kilo 7, Tango Romeo Delta joins the show. Welcome. And Andy, Mike 7, Charlie, New November. Hi, Andy. I think yesterday's show, I'm sorry, we had to cut the birthday song out. That's the weirdest thing with YouTube. Some songs you could do, and there's no copyright issue, but if it says there's going to be a block of the program, the entire program, around some part of the world, I always try and cut it out. So that's my New Year's resolution this year. That's it. Whinen, Lid, on my opinion, Larry, you don't copy me, you send multiple emails. Wait. You don't copy me and I'll send multiple emails. Whinen, I was there today, buddy. I was on frequency. You couldn't hear me. I moved down. I even made a comment on Discord and also on YouTube on the community tab to say I was down 5. I was at 325, 28.325. So I was there on time. I was calling. I just couldn't hear anybody back. Sorry we couldn't make the call, my friend. Mdor, sorry, this is Bill Myers. He's saying to Bill, agreed. There's also a special place in heck for those who intentionally be rude on frequency. That's like using your cell phone during the quietest moments of the Nutcracker. Can you imagine? You're right there, the thing you've waited a long time for. It's a big show, and you're excited to see it. The Nutcracker is so pretty, and the orchestra's playing really good. And then all of a sudden, the person's cell phone goes off. Not the greatest thing to happen. Yes. And Whinen, thank you for joining. It's good to see you. He's all the way in Namibia. That's continent number 3. Yep. Victor 51 Whiskey. Welcome, Whinen. Yes. And Don, he said, oh, I see. It's when I change the topic question. I really would like to understand when someone who does that, why exactly they feel they need to do it. There can't be any reason. The tube amps are not that high of a Q. Yeah, okay, that's good. I think what everyone's saying is the same exact thing, so works out perfect. Whinen says, question of the day, all lids whistling to... That's another thing. Yes, whistling, tuning, breathing, getting crazy, start calling without asking. Nice comment. That may be the comment of the show, too. Who knows? That's good. You hear that? You know, on the way, to be fair, when I lived on the West Coast, I really couldn't hear that, the whistling thing. But here on the East Coast, I've already heard it a couple times already, and it's just weird. It's like someone in the background into their microphone. So they're whistling and doing this. Like, what in the heck are you doing? Whinen, thank you. That's an interesting comment. Yes, sir. Yes, I appreciate it. It's weird. I whistle into it. Whistle while you call. Robert Varner, amplifiers are too expensive for me. I am sorry to hear that. Keep saving. You'll get there. You really will. Tony, tuning on frequency is like talking on the phone while in a public restroom. No one wants to hear it.
Well, thanks, Larry.
Jeez.
We'd have a penny for your thoughts,
Hey,
but I'm broke.
that was his point of view, not mine. Don't put me down for that. That wasn't me that said that. That was Tony. My goodness. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh man, Winan emailed a few times, boy. I'm sorry. Dude, I was there. I can't help that. Winan, all I can do is come when I say I will be on the frequency I said I would be. It just doesn't work out sometimes. I'm sorry. Well, Martin says, I'm so broke, I can't even pay attention. Yeah, I get that. Jenna, people tuning on right on frequency is very rude. Makes me wonder if I'm fixing to go deaf. There's ringing in my ears. You know, it's interesting you say that. Hold on, that's an interesting point. No, it's true. Because I think when you're listening, especially if you've got headphones, if you're not listening on a speaker on your ham radio, you're using headphones. And all of a sudden that person comes in with the tuning amp. Oh my gosh, it can really be shrill on your ears. That's a good point. And boy, another good example why you keep your headphones down. Truly is. Andy, tune-ups on frequency are usually from one of two countries. You know who you are. Oh my gosh. This program is pre-recorded. Andy, be courteous to fellow hams. It's easy enough to find an unoccupied frequency, especially with modern waterfall displays. That right there is the comment of the show. Yes. And we're going to talk about waterfall displays today. This is really in our ham talk segment. We're going to talk about the waterfall and reading them and what different elements are, because it's on some ham tests. I know here in the States it is. So if you are maybe looking to get an amateur radio, or you're taking your test, you're about to, hopefully it'll help you a little bit in terms of identifying the pieces on the waterfall screen. I hope that works out good. Yes. Cavortman, welcome back. Call sign Kilo Echo 2 Golf Delta Delta. Nice to have you here. Thank you. Happy Wednesday. Yes. And oh my goodness, that's our dear friend Jenna. Jenna, what are you doing in Oregon? My gosh. This is the weirdest thing in the world. Here, this is just crazy.
And now, a Larry moment.
So, Jenna was from Georgia, and her sister Avery, right? Both brilliant kids. And I was in Oregon, way on the northwest part of the United States. And then the last time we talked, in fact, I've got Officer Bob here somewhere. I've got the little Officer Bob that was, anyway, okay. So, anyway, the Jenna and Avery would come into the show a lot, right? And so somehow in the ether sphere, I flew and moved my family to Central Florida, and Jenna has traveled all the way to Oregon. That's what just happened. It's amazing. Jenna, my gosh, what the heck are you doing? And are you going to school there? Welcome back. It's great to see you. Man, Kilo 4 Victor Romeo Yankee. That's Avery's call. Jenna, gosh, it's great to have you. Thank you. What, are you going to college in Oregon? Just wondering. That's kind of what I was thinking there. I hope so. Don, by the way, DNF and ANF will take out the tuning sound. Hang on, I've got a thing that's stuck here. Sorry. We really shouldn't need it, but it's there. Use it. Yes. And digital noise filters will help you to try and get rid of that noise if you're capable of getting that quickly while you're trying to call CQ and hear the station and hear the guy making the call. Yeah. It's kind of weird. We'll get to that segment. We'll get to that segment in a second. Hold on. Martin, close your eyes and listen, then react. Look at that. And you know what? That kind of comes across as just a comment, right? That's more than a comment. Sorry. That's how you operate a radio. That's exactly how you should be operating a ham radio. Listen. That's the key. That's such a big deal with DXers. People who work far distance listen first. They make sure they have the call sign. They call one time when it's time for QRZ, which means who's calling me. QRZ means who's calling me. Then the CQ call is sent, who's calling me. and then people call, right? Make sure you have the call sign. I've done it before, so I'm not perfect. Where, someone has a call sign that you've never heard before and you're not quite sure. And you may say, could I confirm your call sign? Don't give it to them. Just let them confirm it to you. That's a good way to do it. But you should be listening before you react. And we'll talk about my part of this thing on coming up here on the show. What is Larry's opinion? I think you already know. But I love that. To listen. Thank you, Martin. That's good. Tony, to play devil's advocate, the tuning offender may not realize they are tuning up on a frequency that's occupied. Maybe they can't hear your conversation. Oh, but they can tune right up to that frequency? No, they know what they're doing. They know. Come on. You don't spend all that money for a big tube amp and then not know you're on the right frequency. Yeah. I don't agree with that. Tony, I'm saying no, I don't agree. Try to be devil's advocate, that's fine, but no, not on the same frequency. And when they're doing it the right way, right, Tony? Because you can see it on the waterfall. A tuning amplifier, you'll have a big pop in the intensity part of the waterfall screen, and then you'll have a line go down in the time constant. So they're just off frequency, but they're trying to tune somewhere to make a call near that point. It's just interesting that comes up that way. Kavortman, my next radio is going to be an ICOM 705 with nice power amps for high frequency and UHF VHF. That's a nice one. I like that. Yeah. 705 is cool radio. Please, you can hold it right in your hand. I love that. Yeah. And are you asking the question, does it 705 have a speech mode? Yes, they do. They do. See, MDOR argue in many cases. Okay, you guys are having a little private conversation. Los Angeles, California is here. That would be Rob Q. Welcome to the show. Good to have you, my friend, as always. And Jenna says, here with my partner Gunnar, Kilo 7 Delta Echo Union over college break. I'll be going back to, it's Alabama. I said Georgia. I'm sorry. She goes to school in Alabama. Well, good for you, and we're glad you made it to Oregon. Safe travels. Enjoy. Enjoy the time with Gunnar. I hope you have a good time there, Jenna. Boy, I know it's a little cool and rainy, but that's what keeps things green, right? And boy, the smell of the trees. You can smell it right when you get off the airplane. The beautiful smell of the trees in Oregon. Today's QRZ conditions are not bad. Especially when Larry puts the right one up on the screen, and that makes it a lot better, right? The QRZ conditions today are not bad. There's the right one. Jeez. Hold on. I got to get rid of this last one because I'm going to do that again because I'm good at doing that. Today we're just below 150, just hit 145. Sunspot number is 99. Look at the quiet K index. That's a geomagnetic field here on Earth, the planet that we all live on. It's quiet, very, very quiet. So when you get a K0, the geomag field is just it's inactive. It's not there. It's beautiful. It's as quiet as it can be. And for the most part, this is going to be on frequencies that are going to be about 40 meters down. But quiet conditions, that's good. Solar flare probability today, about 50%. And when you get to below an SF5 150, they start to tell you 12 and 10 meters is good fair conditions. You'll make calls today on 10, 12, 15, 17, 20, and the rest. But there is fade today. A lot of QSB on the bands today, for sure. And we'll hear some of that. First of all, I'd like to share with you what Larry did today earlier. And yes, that it was a call that wasn't. So before I worked to try and call wine in Africa, I was real close to trying to make a call to Munich, but not quite. See if you can tell what happened that doesn't make it a legal call. Okay, this guy is in Germany near the Munich airport. We'll see him make the call. We're not pointed his way, but we'll see what we can do.
And I wish you a nice day. KC9 Victor X-Ray Charlie, DL5 RBW. Let me briefly check whether we have anybody from the West Coast, EW6 or 7.
Kilo 7, Hotel November. Oops. He said
okay,
West Coast.
Kilo 7, Hotel November. Are you on the West Coast?
Oh, mate, I'm sorry. I heard that and I messed up. I'm sorry. I'm here in Florida. Excuse me.
Yeah, okay, no problem, no problem. I guess it's a little bit too early for the 6s and 7s to come through. Okay, QRX, 1 second. I need to pick up the phone here. I'll be back here in a minute or two.
Okay, so he goes QRT, which means away from the frequency, quits transmitting. What do you think made the call not legal? What was not good about that call? We both heard each other. We both were able to communicate, but something was wrong. And I'm asking this basically not because I'm stupid or you're stupid, but because for people who want to get into amateur radio, they can learn a little bit. Hopefully from this illustration, there's something missing. We both were able to talk to each other, but something wasn't there. The answer, we didn't exchange signal reports. No signal report was exchanged in that discourse. Simply made the call. Person says, I caught it then. Mistake. Sorry. Oh my goodness.
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
I try very hard to be good to my dogs, and I give them a nice bed to lay in right here and 2 over here because they like to come right to the shack, and they like to, especially Jasper. Jasper's fun about that. Jasper's really a good dog. He does quite a bit of good stuff, and it's interesting. But when Jack goes off, they all 3 go running off and scurrying into the living room. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's where it was. And then Don, yes, he was asking for West Coast, and that's what I kind of hit. I was listening with one ear and thinking with another one. So when I realized, oh no, he's trying to get the West Coast, which it was just too early. The time on the radio showed 9:35 Eastern, which is plus 5 is like 14:30, something like that. So anyway, the point was he was asking for the West Coast. It's not open yet that early to the West Coast on 10 meters. All right, let me get you 2 that did work. We'll get you a call, and you can kind of hear the fading today on the bands. First one, France.
Kilo 7 again.
Kilo 7, Hotel, November.
Kilo 7, Hotel November, 73, Larry. Thank you very much for coming back. You 5 and 6 today. 56.
Thank you so much for the 56. You're a 57 here into Florida. It's really nice to hear your voice again.
Roger, thank you for 5-7 Florida. I wish you 73 and very happy New Year.
You're a
as
neat
well.
guy.
Thank you again
Just
for
a
the
neat
call.
guy. Next one here is Kilo 7, Hotel November. This is Portugal. Kilo 7, Hotel November.
Kilo Radio 4 Charlie Kilo Tango, 59.
A lot of fade today.
Charlie Radio 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Kilo 7, Hotel November.
Kilo.
Kilo 7, Hotel November.
7 Hotel November, 59.
Thank you, 59 here. Good luck.
Thanks, Charlie Radio 6 Whiskey Alpha.
And there you go. See, so it's fairly quick. Again, the worldwide award stations that are doing a lot of contest stuff, doing quite a bit of it now on 10 meters, and they're like Portugal. I've heard it from Switzerland, and there's one other country. Anyway, they're making calls, and they're making a lot of them right now for sure. Some are quicker than others. Some are really quick. Some tend to put a little time between their cues. And either way is fine. I enjoy that. We're going to talk for our radio talk segment today on the show. For people who are looking to get an amateur radio or possibly thinking of it, we're going to talk about what's called the Panadapter screen. Here's a little segment I put together to hopefully help you if you're thinking of getting your radio license or possibly trying to remember what is that on the Panadapter. What are the little elements? I hope it helps. Hi, everybody. In this little bit of radio talk segment, I'm going to show you what's on the amateur radio test regarding Panadapter screens. Now, Panadapters have been around for a long time, since Flex Radio basically invented the software-defined radio in the early 2000s. ICOM made it more mainstream because they put a software-defined radio in a box with a screen on it that anybody could buy for under $1,000. the biggest selling amateur radio of all time. But this is what they look like, and this is the brand new generation of amateur radio that makes it more powerful as well as very visual. Here is what they look like. Now, on this screen showing the 10 meter band, we're kind of towards the bottom part, but if you look on the left, you can visually see Morse code and digital modes going off. The line that's coming from the white area, that's intensity, remember? Sorry, that's Morse code. But anyway, the point is you see the big rise and fall of the white area, that's called the intensity. That's the white one. And then below is the time. That's the signal as it ages going down the Panadapter screen, down the waterfall area. So that's what we're looking at here. On the far right, that's a voice signal. You can tell voice signals from digital or the Morse code signals because you can visually see the dots and dashes on a Panadapter screen if you have it set slow enough. And then on the far right, the wider voice portion. Let's listen in. We'll go over to the left and we'll see the Morse code first, and then we're going to jump up to about 28,350 to hear the audio part where they're doing voice. So let's move down first. I'm not zero beating this, but we'll get close. So this is close. See? You can hear two distinct Morse code sends right there. Hear the weak one? Okay, and now we're going to go up to the voice one. Remember, we were talking about the voice one was on the far right. Here was where we were. Morse code to the left, you can see the dots and dashes. And in the far right, you're seeing wider signals. Let's click on that and you'll hear someone's voice.
2 cm de neige à Paris, c'est déjà le cauchemar.
See?
Préprogrammé.
So again, at the top, you're seeing the intensity of the signal. That's the strength that pops up on the screen. And then the blue area as it goes down, that's time. That's the area where you see the signal age as it used to be live, but now is falling down. You may ask why that's important, the age part, right? It's important because it allows you to click on the signal and find it quickly to make the call. A good example, because the trail that goes down after the person speaks or sends the Morse code allows you to point and click on the screen to tune in like that versus tuning the VFO tuning knob, basically, to the signal. I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's go back real quick and we'll take a look at this and give you a good idea what I mean by pointing right at the signal because the waterfall gives you the direction. Watch. Okay, to the right, there's another signal. Let's listen to that one. See? Goes right over to it. And you're really close. So you get close to the signal. They just barely have to move the VFO or tuning knob to get to the signal. We call it a VFO. Variable Frequency Oscillator. That's what it stands for. So there you go. That is the difference between a digital signal, which would be Morse code, and a non-digital, which would be your voice. So voice is basically a much wider, a bigger waterfall time quotient below, and Morse code, where you can actually see the dots and dashes fall down the waterfall. Hope that helps you. Remember, the key points is the white area at the top always is intensity. That's on tests. The area below is time. That's why. Hope you enjoyed that segment. Now back to the real show. All right. So we're looking at the radio now. Just to piggyback on this, I'm going to go to a smaller, to a different band here, a shorter one. We'll go to 12. You'll see all the elements here at work. On the far left is digital modes. That's like FT8, FT4. These are computer-to-computer communications. Then just to the right of that, between that and the next signal there, that is where, in fact, that's a I should be hearing Morse code there. Actually, it's pretty. Hang on, let me get the speaker on for you. Yeah, there we go. Here, two of them very close together. Again, see that? Trying to hit the other one, but just can't do it. But that's it right there. There's your Morse code. And then if I wanted to go on Morse code here, I would just click this and just go to CW, and it's going to change the way everything tunes. It's very, very narrow filter, incoming filter, very narrow. So it'll sound a little different, and we're just going to kind of try and get close to the bandwidth. Look at the difference in bandwidth there. Morse code, 500 hertz, that's the width. On Morse code, on voice, we're at 3 kilohertz. So we're 6 times smaller here because it's such a narrower signal. So we try and tune to it. Sorry, let me turn my noise reduction off. Hear the fade coming in and going out. So that's that. And then we'll just kind of pop off of Morse code, go to sideband, and right about here is a voice signal. Nope, sorry. That threw me there, so there you go. But that hopefully gives you a little bit of an idea as to the Panadapter screen for your test. Remember, the white part looks like a sizzle, when you tune up the RF gain. That's intensity. It just gives you an idea of how strong the signal is. And then below that is the time. And typically if it's a weak signal, you'll barely see that time element. It tends to be very, very light, and you'll see it just as fast as the other signals, but that's what identifies a weak signal. It can be QRP, it might be DX quite a ways. Yeah, that's it. And talking about 6 meters, 6 meters is neat because 6 meters is a band that will open up, and it's magical. It really is. It's technically FM or VHF, but you can make long distance calls with it. In my old QTH in Oregon, I for the life of me, could not make a call there because it's just too much noise. Here it's great. Let me show you 6 meters here from our QTH in Florida. We'll go to 6, and it's just wonderful. Look at this. Quiet as can be. There's not a bit of noise on that band. Look at that. That's how it should look. That's nice and quiet. So that's 6 meters here from the States, from this part of the States here in Florida. And gosh, I'd love to see that because it's like, oh man, I've heard so much cool stuff about 6 meters. Don, we have to do that. I would love to make a call with you for that. That'd be fun. Don says, I never really considered it, but then I found here where I am, 6 opens from April through July. You hear nothing for hours, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing stations from across the U.S. Let us know what frequency that is. Love to hear that. Adam, welcome. Call sign Kilo Delta 5 Echo Foxtrot. First timer, welcome. My name's Larry, Kilo 7 Hotel November. It's a pleasure to have you here on Ham Radio Live. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Arnie DXer, Florida? Yes, it's true. Florida. Yeah. And we got, I'm arriving here. This is Jeff in Portland, Alpha Delta 7, Lima, November. Arriving late to the show. Once again, 6 meters is fun. Yes, I'm looking to try that. And I really want to, let me know frequency-wise, Don. Is it the DX calling frequency or what frequency is it? Let me know. We'll make it part of the show. Mike, Whiskey 1, Echo Whiskey, Juliet, lots of 6 over the years, True Magic Band. I'm excited to do that. That'll be my first time trying it as well. And Keith, no worries, you made it here. We're grateful you did. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, Keith. Thanks for coming. And Adam, thank you. It's an honor to have you here. Welcome to our show. Gosh, it's great. Welcome. Everybody welcome Adam, will you please? And Keith's call sign, by the way, is Mike 0 Papa Alpha Whiskey. Thank you very, very much. All right, and Don runs 6 meter FT8 on 50.313 Well, that would be fun. And Aaron, thank you for talking about the like button. That's nice. Thank you. It's nice when people remember that for me. Thank you for saying that. I don't ever ask, but I appreciate you being here. All right. We did have a segment on the jokes we make about 80 meters and stuff. And to be fair, it's not just 80. You can hear it on 40. You go to 7.2 megs at night. You know, that net sometimes can be a little bit rusty. Anyway, the problem with some of these nets, and it's always typically a net, it's not usually person-to-person communication. For example, if you're talking to somebody, say in Oklahoma, and you live in Iowa, and you're talking together, you're not likely to get into an argument. It just doesn't happen. But on nets, that's where feelings get hurt or people get mad. They can be insulting. They can get swearing at times as well. And it can be extremely frustrating. I have found a funny one that I'm really excited to show you. This is an 80-meter net. This is unfortunate circumstance. It's it was the Minneapolis killing, basically, of the gentleman who was running from the police. And I think the bad part about this is that they're kind of taking things from so many different places, and it just turned into an anatomy lesson.
I'll catch you back, Wilson.
You see, that's the problem when people quirm and just start talking. They talk on top of somebody else, and now I didn't get to hear what you said. You see, there we go. Okay, now we'll call you the fourth party. The guy that's blowing in his microphone and overmodulated, you're the fourth party. If you'll wait, you're next after one other guy in front of you, and we got a quirmer here that had something to say, and he's not getting to repeat it, and we're not getting to hear it because of the other quirmers. Oh, there's too many quirmers. Oh, the fellow that said you don't know what you're saying, would you please repeat what you said, and hopefully we'll hear it this time.
Well, what you're talking about is the anatomy of the neck, and you're saying it's impossible, and it's completely possible to cut off the carotids or the trachea with your knee. It's completely possible to do that. I don't know where you're getting your bullshit from, Bruce.
Okay, let me respond to that then, if they're not quirming me.
Y'all hear that?
You're saying with a person that's laying face down, you can cut off their trachea with your knee?
Yes, you can. It depends on the anatomy. And yes, you can. Everybody's anatomy is different, Bruce.
Well, okay, most people's trachea is in the front of their neck below their chin. Is that not correct?
Bruce, you can't parse this. You're full of shit.
Well, I'm respecting what you're saying, but you're not respecting what I'm saying.
The number one thing is,
and you're talking about the trachea, which is below the chin. It's on the front
run away after
of
it
the
was
body.
pain.
And as you can tell, there's a quirmer in there that is now doing what you are doing. So I don't know if I'll be able to hear you again. But explain to me, in the situation we were talking about, where if you're laying face down with your head turned 90 degrees, how you can cut someone's airway off.
Cop says you're under arrest. What do? You submit to the arrest. End of story. You run away after you've been tased. You run away after you've been
You'll just have to wait on it.
Shithouse rat.
Okay, go.
So the downward pressure on the spinal column with your knee can push your trachea against the ground and compress the airway.
Said that the head was turned 90 degrees and the knee was on the side of the neck, so there wouldn't be downward pressure on the spinal column.
If they were arresting me, I'd be alive today. That's all I'm going to say. If you were arresting me, I would be alive today. Just once, they say you're under arrest. I would get out of the car and put my hands behind my back. Boom! End the story.
Sideways.
Can I ask you something, Bruce?
Well, wait just a minute. If you let, we're almost done, Marty, and you want to get right to Dr. Ponder, and then you got to ask a question. Let him finish. We're almost done. And then it's the number 4 guy with the bad audio that was over-modulating and blowing in his mic. If he would like to take a turn, like he did earlier, out of turn, then you'll have to wait on him, and everybody will get to talk that way. So
I'm tired of taking turns.
Well, that's really self-explanatory, don't you think? And I want to make it clear, that's not all 80 meters. It's just unfortunate that it happens mostly when you hear stories, it'll be on 80, and that's a fact. Just take a look. It's there. You'll find on 40 as well. Not as prevalent, but it's there. But a lot of great nets as well are on the 80 meter band and 40 and 20. There's some amazing nets out there. That's just kind of like everybody's loose and just should probably be in bed by now. Net. That's where you think of the old guys that maybe shouldn't be on the air anymore. And Skeeter said, I could not listen to that. Yeah, talk about wanting to get in a bad mood. That was right after the George Floyd shooting. So it's been a while, right? And I had a second video, but I'm like, I'm not going to show you that one because, well, wait, I'm going to show. Hold on, it's shorter. Is this the same guy who was talking about the anatomy with the thick Southern accent? Yes or no? Listen to this little segment. Tell me if it's the same guy.
And I don't appreciate you swearing at me. Why don't you move up a little bit then? Say what?
I don't even appreciate you being on the handbands. How you like that?
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Don't worry about it.
Well, if you got a problem, why don't you move instead of yelling at me?
You turn it down, we won't have a problem. No, I've been on 3830.
That guy, the weak guy, listen.
You ain't been here that long. You just been splattering for a long time.
Alrighty, well, I appreciate you coming down and let me know.
Is it the same guy from the earlier video?
He has the SDR there. He has physical proof that I'm within the limits here, but unfortunately, it seems like that you're getting interfered with by it, but there's nothing really I can do here besides you yell at me.
Well, let me tell you this. Right here on frequency with you, it's hard to understand what you're saying. You got such crappy audio.
Okay, that's your opinion. I appreciate you do have your opinion, and you did swear at me tonight, so. But I'm glad that I can make another friend out here.
I love how the other guy is just really polite. Right?
Yes, there is. You know there is.
Larry,
one night, that one night you got on to
I don't
him
know if you're
about
part
it.
of the same group on 30, but, you know, they splattered me all the time if you're part of that group.
Anyway,
and,
I don't want to go too long, but you know what I'm saying? It sounds like the same guy. When I got the second, actually it's like the 5th video, like this one was like, gosh, that guy sounds like the other guy talking about anatomy. But anyway, thank you for letting me do that little segment. And again, it's not all 80. I don't ever want to be misunderstood. I bring the mic down, just down a bit here. It's just too loud. Sorry. I don't want to make a false statement because I love 80 meters too. There's some really good nets on 80. Santa nets on 80, for example. But speaking of non-holiday stuff, you can, if you're kind of lonely at night at the home, right? Turn on 80 meters. You'll find a net. You'll hear people talking. That can be the difference between a quiet house and something to listen to, right? It's a cool thing. 7.2 is a very dangerous frequency on 40 meters at night because they also have a net that's become quite famous for kind of like this. The same kind of thing, right? It's like, who let the insane asylum out and gave them ham radios to take home? I don't get it, but, you know, that can be there on 7.2 as well. And Don mentioned, I think, right, Don? Weren't you that one who mentioned? Hold on, scrolling up. There we go. Yeah, Don, exactly. Sounds like 7.2. That can be like for hours. Exactly. So it's not just 80 meters. I don't want to make it sound like, I know like Aaron, bless his heart, he had a really good contact with Art Bell. Remember Art Bell on the radio? He talked to Art. And 80 is very important to Aaron. Aaron's call sign, Victor Echo 5 Echo Mike Lima. And, you know, I love this this thing. He's like, he loves 80, and 80 is really, really cool. There's a good stuff there too. And as long as you don't get it, I like what Adam here said. Can't feed into their anger. Just let it go. If somebody does that to you on the air, where they talk like your audio, you're splattering all over the place, hard to make out a dang syllable you're saying. Okay, sorry. That guy handled it so well. Well, I'm sorry you don't like my audio. And then the guy would attack him somewhere else. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. He was very good at trying to disarm the guy, just with politeness. That's a great way to handle people who are rude on amateur radio. So that's a good part of that second segment. I hope you picked that up. The other guy was just really cool. He was like, you know what? I'm sorry you feel that way. You know what? I'm sorry you don't like it. He just was trying to remain nice and very, very good. Arnie DXer. 7, it's not 7.2, it's a 7 zoo. That's fun. That's the comment of the show. Yes. That's great. 7 zoo. That should be the name of the net, right? It should be the 7 zoo. Arnie, you just made my day. I can't wait to tell Karen that. Karen's gonna go, I don't know what that means. And I'll say, well, honey, no, it's really about nets on ham radio and how they can get out of hand and start swearing at each other and get in arguments and stuff. That's what's going to happen there. And Jeff, the 7.20 net is the same people who tune up on frequency, of course. Yes. Oh, boy. Aaron, here's the answer to this stuff. He says, turn the dial and be a better example on the air. Big applause. Yes, it's true. You have this is like a TV show. If a TV show comes on you don't like, just turn to another channel. Thank you for that. Yes, Aaron, that is wise information. All right, guys, let's get to the Angry Hams. I will try and see if we can make a call here in the States, and we'll do that just after the trivia segment, okay? So let's see if the Angry Hams have anything good to say about today's show. I sure hope so, because generally their opinions are always just a little bit angry.
How about that? They brought the house down.
That's an old joke.
Well, some things improve with age.
You don't.
And that's the 7.2. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. First question. In what year was the military affiliate radio system established? We call that MARS in amateur radio. Okay. Does this go back to 1925? That's A. B is 1944. C is 1949. D, 1975. When did Mars first become established? A, B, C, or D? Get the right answer. We'll give you a cha-ching and some applause. Good luck. First question of 3 today. Oh, welcome. My goodness. It's Anders, and he's all the way. You're vacationing in Asia, aren't you, my friend? Welcome. It's good to have you, Anders. Good guy. Love that. Don, this is great. The joke on 80 meters is a bunch of old guys talking about their colonoscopies and prostate exams. Oh, man.
Find out if there's a doctor on board as quietly as you can.
Oh, my God.
Shut up! I can't stand it!
That's great. Bill Myers first up. He says B, 1944. I can't stand it. Just, it's not it. Thanks, Tony. You got it right. It's A. Congratulations. That's correct. This is Don. Don, the filter. Remember, use the filter. Arnie DXer here in Europe, 7.2 is mostly Germans, though. That's okay. They can get in arguments, too. It's okay. Aaron also got that right. And Kel Yorstead, my gosh, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming, Kel. Oh, gosh, I love you, buddy. He got D. And then, oh, my gosh. Wine got it right, too. Good job, Wine. And I know Andy meant that. Colonoscopies next. What company manufactured Viking amateur radio gear? Was it A, Hammerland, B, Ico, C, Globe, or D, Johnson? Who was the company that manufactured Viking ham gear? A, B, C, or D? First one right, we give you some cha-ching and some claps. Good luck. Viking, made by Ronco. No, not Ronco. Oh, well, there you go. Good to see you, Anders, by the way. Gosh, it's great to see you today. Thanks for coming. Tony's first up. He's got D. Johnson, and he is 100% correct. Well done, sir. Gosh, Tony, you're just getting into the show fast today. Really fast. And see, not to think that you have to be close to the show to get in first. Anders is halfway around the world, and he got D as well. That's great. Oh, my gosh. Andy, hang in there. You'll get it. You'll get it. You guys are really on fire today, by the way, worldwide. And again, gosh, Anders, it's so nice to have you. Last question. What? Oh, gosh, here we go. We're talking about tuners. Jeez. All right. The question, what is the meaning of the term TNT as applied to ham transmitters? Is it A, triode oscillator neutralized triode amplifier, B, tuned plate, not tuned grid, C, transmitter neutralization tank, or D, tungsten nickel triode? Okay, those are your four. Okay. Once again, we'll try it again so I can just kind of get for you. Is it A, triode oscillator, neutralized triode amplifier, B, tuned plate, not tuned grid, C, transmitter neutralization tank, or D, tungsten nickel triode? A, B, C, or D? First one right, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll do something here on the show, but good luck.
There's no one knows his way around outer space like Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
Well, there you go. Anders, he's got C, transmitter neutralization tank. Nope, not it. Andy Noof, he's got tungsten nickel triode. No. Bill in Wisconsin, B, he has which would be tuned plate, not tuned grid. Guess what? You just did it. Congratulations. Yeah. Tuned plate, not tuned grid. Yeah, TNT. So tuned, not tuned, means TNT. Isn't that something? Yeah. And Tony, he had a Johnson Viking amp years ago. Still have the NC183 Delta receiver, though, which is cool. Andy had B. He had it right. Kel had D. We got D from Mike Whiskey 1, Echo Whiskey Juliet. I got to figure that out. Sorry. Mike Whiskey 1, Echo Whiskey Juliet. Sorry. I guess it's going to drive me crazy. Mike Whiskey 1. Gosh, Larry, come on. Remember, it's not that hard. Echo Whiskey Juliet. Echo Whiskey Juliet. Thank you. All right. And that's Edwin. Thank you, Edwin. Appreciate it. Yes. Sorry, Ed. If you don't go by Ed, sorry. Just let me know, and I won't call you that. I'll try not to, at least. Thank you. Aaron got it right. Whining got it right as well. Arnie said that USA applause going to surely sound loud and wide in Greenland soon. Could be. You never know. Never know. We're trying to get Greenland to come in live. That's my hope, at least. Jenna, you got D as well. Look at you guys around the world doing quite well on the final trivia of today. Conroe D, hello. Good to see you, and thank you for coming. Adam, I should have known since I'm an extra, I need to review my study. No. These are the trivia part of the show is never done to make someone feel dumb. Never. We laugh about it here. It's kind of like a net, but on YouTube. But it's more about, just asking questions and having fun with them. The questions of trivia have always been about having some fun. By the way, speaking of fun, I got a little fun segment coming up towards the end, which where we are right now. Just a second. I need to put one more thing in real quick. Today's topic question is not this. It's going to be this instead, by the magic of that. Today's topic question. What's your opinion of tuning an amplifier on frequency? All right, we've all been there. You're listening to DX. It's a weak signal, and it's fading. And you're just about there. You've got the prefix of it. You've got part of the suffix, and then it happens. B, only it's higher pitched, right? Someone's tuning on frequency because they're going to have to make the call there, right? And then all of a sudden you hear this really loud call pop in and you're like, That's the guy that tried to tune his amp on frequency. And you just want to scream. But really, it's some people may think, oh, I didn't know I was doing it. I didn't know it was on frequency. You know. You don't buy that kind of gear and not know. You're lazy. You're just doing it because you want to. It's not, you don't care. You want to make the call. Don't care about anybody else. The word selfish was used quite frequently by you guys that's had this topic question today. And I would agree. It is a very selfish thing. You're making what you're doing more important than what everybody else is doing. Now, in terms of the DX Code of Conduct, you are in complete violation of that because it's now your ham band, your rules. You're more important than everybody else. It's very similar to the person who is making his call sign heard 5 times between QRZ, right? Guy says QRZ, Kilo 7 Hotel November. Kilo 7 Hotel November. Kilo 7 Hotel. He probably heard you the first time, right? But the point is, it's just as selfish. You got to make the call over others. And why is that so bad? Think about it. If you don't know amateur radio, why it's so bad is because the tone that could be sent into a dummy load or off of frequency where the person calling can't hear anybody else, right? So they go down, let's say 13 kilohertz. That's close enough that you're going to be heard very well with your amplifier. Tune it there where nobody else is. You're going to take up 3 kilohertz wide of a bandwidth, so make sure you're down 3 kilohertz from the nearest signal. If you're upper sideband, you should be 3 kilohertz below the nearest signal where you are. Now, is there a possibility that that person could be heard somewhere else in the world on a DX frequency that he's tuning on? Yes, absolutely. But you know it's the same guy if the amplifier tuning process goes on and one call later, everybody else is real weak, and all of a sudden then Kilo 7 Hotel November. He's really loud. You know that's the guy. He was just tuning his amp up, and it was very loud where you were. You heard it. It is rude. And it's one of the most frustrating things for people who do DX, I think, in amateur radio. Because when you're trying to hear that call sign, it's oftentimes very weak and a lot of fading going on. So you're hearing part of it, and then it drifts away. And then all of a sudden the tuner comes up and takes away all communication. You can't hear because all you can hear is him tuning his amp. I would agree. Selfish would be the word I would use as well. Let's take your final comments before we close this here program today. And thank you for coming. Happy Wednesday worldwide. Thank you for being here today to Ham Radio Live. Mean that very much. And Aaron, Tony says the questions sparked curiosity. Good fun, Larry. Thank you. That's good. I appreciate that. Aaron, by the way, happy Wednesday, buddy. I hope you and Jen are well. I mean that, buddy. Love you to pieces. You're a good friend, pal. Tune up 3 or down, people. Yes, 3 kilohertz. That's the bandwidth you're going to use. Just put it somewhere where nobody is, at least where you could hear it, right? You can't help it if maybe on, 6,000 miles away, somebody is hearing it where there's weak DX on that frequency that you're tuning up on. That would be the only way it could be an accident, right? The only way. But when when all of a sudden the next caller comes through on that DX band and he's like 5 over 12 and he's like pegging your meter, that's the guy that was just tuning up. And how many times have you thought of saying, way to tune up on frequency, blank D blank 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 call sign? I've thought of it, but I won't do it. Just won't do it. Kel, I find a frequency nearby and tune there. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I thought you said, I find a frequency and tune there. I'm glad I read it twice. I find a frequency nearby and tune there. Exactly. That's all you got to do. Not that hard to do. Yes. And Wyden in Namibia, good point. He says, even some splatter around 5 kilohertz wide S9 plus guys want to run broadcast audio on ham radio. Oh man, that's another subject. When you're running your amateur radio and you want the real cool radio voice and you want to do DX, good luck. It's crazy. They are not one and the same. If you want Voodoo audio that takes up 10Ks, and that's about what it takes AM on SSB, no joke, because you're putting all that frequency from your gear onto the air. And it's actually quite illegal, but some people like to do it because they love that radio voice. They get a really good microphone and they've got great state-of-the-art equipment because they're going to be a radio voice on the ham bands. If you're trying to work DX, the part of the voice you need to hear is the mid-range. If you're and here's the problem, they're running way too much bass. That's the piece it's muddy. It's too deep and low to hear very well. So if you're going to work DX, this is a really neat comment Wynand just put up. Don't do the really cool audio stuff. Just run your microphone the normal way and you'll make tons of calls. No one cares about unless you're splattering. If you're really busting your ALC way out there, that's the automatic level control for new hams. If you haven't tuned it right with your mic gain and you're way over, you're going to sound bad. But as long as you've got good audio, just make the call that way. You don't need to do anything more. You sound fine. And that's how people sound on ham radio. There's a reason when you turn on a ham radio, it sounds the way it does. And it doesn't sound like FM. End of Larry's rant. Arnie DXer, I think these types of guys just exercise their right to law of jungle. Might is might. Might is right, Yeah. That's funny. Yes. That's pretty funny because it's actually true. Thank you. Adam, oh, bless your heart, he subscribed. Thank you, Adam. That's really nice. Kilo Delta 5 Echo Foxtrot. Oh, man. And Tony, you guys, I never do that. I don't ask because I really want you to like it and I hope you do. And if you do, gosh, you've seen so much YouTube. You know what everybody says. I really don't need to say that. It's always an honor when you do, though. Thank you. Don, Joe Walsh does a lot of AM ham radio. Yes, and he specifically has a gear that sounds good on AM, but he's already using AM like the other guys are, which uses 10 kilohertz, right? They're going to use great audio gear because that's set up on that frequency. I think it's a really neat point you're making, Don. Truly do. AM you can make sound great. But when you're running SSB and Voodoo audio, you're taking a 3 kilohertz band spectrum, basically, moving out another 7 to fit the frequency of the audio you're doing. It's just crazy. I love the sound. Sounds good, but I also like to listen to FM radio. One of those things. Yes, here is a very good point Edwin brings up. Wider bandwidth, lower the drive. Amen, and thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah. State-of-the-art equipment, like Hermes Life.
That's the last straw.
No.
Now I use my secret
Don't
weapon.
do that. Arnie's a DXer. We love Arnie. Arnie, thank you. That's pretty darn cool. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to close the show. There's something fun coming up. We haven't done this in over a year. I think it's been a year and a half, actually, since this program did this. And I hope you enjoy this little segment. And Aaron, final comment. I love this because he makes a good point. For DX use, I use a Shure 5.7, which is a great microphone, and set to be very mid-range center. You run mid-range, you will make tons of calls. The PRAS, parametric receive audio system, is essentially an equalizer for your ears, and it focuses most of the force of it in the mid-range. It makes a great sound. Really helps you pick up a signal because it takes out the bass, takes out the high end, lets you hear the mid-range. That's part of the ham band where you're making calls. It's good stuff. Aaron, nice comment. Thank you for that. Nice. That's nice. Jenna, bless your heart. I miss you. I miss you a ton. I do have Officer Bob. Jenna, long ago. No, it wasn't Officer Bob. You guys made something, and I have that. I brought that with me from Oregon. I have it. Thank you. I'll show that. Next time we get together, I'll look for it because I've got all my little stuff that was on the shelf in a little box. Jenna, thanks for coming. It is such an honor to see you and know that you're okay because it's been a while since you've joined us on the show. Thank you sincerely for being here. Would you please give Avery our best, please, and let her know that we miss her very much. We're grateful to see you today. If you'd like to get your amateur radio license, we would love to help you do that. I have done so many things in my life, and I waited too long to do ham radio. I got busy with family life. I helped raise a son, and I'm grateful. Those are great memories. But I always wanted the amateur radio license. You can do it. You can pass the test. I'm not a brilliant individual. I'm sure you're smarter than I am. You can pass this test. Trust me. I have the highest level license in the States, and I'm not smart. But I wanted it really bad, and I studied really hard. If you've got that kind of drive, you can get your ham license. Reach out to a local amateur radio club to where you live. They're going to help you get licensed. They're going to answer questions you have about the test, and they can even help you study to pass that test, right? But if you don't know where the club is, reach out to a local radio club that's near you, okay? Find someone like the Radio Society of Great Britain. Reach out to them because they've got a worldwide directory of amateur radio clubs, and they can find that local club to where you live. They're simple to reach. www.rsgb.org, and then tell them you want your amateur radio license. Just go to the Contact Us page. We're going to do it together. This is so important to me. I hope you don't mind. Let me just do one more thing, because this is really the big part of the show that I think is so important, okay? So we're going to do this together. And I want to show you real quick because, doggone it, this is important. So we're going to open up a new page, and we'll type up RSGB, okay? rsgb.org. Okay, thanks. Larry doesn't type well. Really good. All right, so you go here. Welcome to the RSGB, Radio Society of Great Britain. They are so good. Okay, typically, okay, I'm going to go with the cookies. Thanks, I love the cookies. Okay, you're going to find on this page a menu, all right? And it's right here. Just go contact. So type in contact, spell it right, and you'll be okay. And the ham radio, it wouldn't be us, the RSGB. All right, there we go. All right, contact Radio Society of Great Britain main site. You click there, and there's their phone number, right? And they'll have an email as well, right here. You're not looking for exams. You can look for communications, but what really you're looking for is you're looking for amateur radio support, right? I think. Just make sure. Gosh, get off here. Thank you. Just look for amateur radio support. There's the webpage right there. That's the email address. Okay? Click on that, and it's going to give you a way to contact them. Amateur radio support, technical and licensing inquiries. That's how you do it. So you go there, and you click on that. You fill it out. Tell them where you are. That's really important. Your name, where you live. They'll look in their directory, and they're going to find a local amateur radio club to where you live. Send it to you back in the email. And then you send the email they send you, you contact the club. Tell them you want your license and where you live. They're going to find somebody in that club that's really passionate about helping you get licensed. I guarantee it. Not every ham radio club is perfect, I promise. But there will be somebody with a passion to help you because we have all been where you are now. We've been worried about passing the test. Don't wait another year. Do it now. Get that license and get it as high of a license as you can. You deserve it. It can't be taken away from you unless you get caught doing something stupid on the air. But the point is, just do it. Make it your 2026 resolution and get on amateur radio bands. We'd love that. We really would. My name is Larry Dio. My call sign in amateur radio is Kilo 7 Hotel November from Central Florida, wherever you may be. God bless you. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
Mamma mia, that's some species. Cut. Spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry. Take 28. Out, Tony. And action. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Cut. What was the matter with that? The accent. Cut. Cut. Micey, micey, ballsy, ballsy. Cut. Take 59. And action. Jack.
Sometimes you eat more than you should. And when it's spicy besides, Mamma Mia, do you need Alka-Seltzer? Alka-Seltzer can help unstuff you, relieve the acid indigestion, and help make you your old self again.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Cut. Okay, let's break for lunch.
The Office of the Police Commissioner of Midland City.
Yes, come in. Commissioner? What? Oh, yes, I am. My name is Benton Harbor.
He carries in his right hand a large suitcase.
Put down your large suitcase, Mr. Harbor, and tell me what I can do for you. Monday through Friday, Commissioner, I am regularly employed as a shoe salesman for a large downtown department store. Yes. However, my weekends will be free, and therefore I will be available to you as the most fantastic crime fighter the world has ever known. And you will be known as? I will be known as Chicken Man. Miss Helfinger, please bring your notepad and pencil and come into my office immediately.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming so quickly. Miss Helfinger, this is Mr. Benton Harbor. Hello, Miss Harbor.
No, I'm Miss Hellfinger. You're Mr. Harbor.
Oh, yes. How do you do? Please take a note, Miss Helfinger, that Mr. Harbor will be available on weekends to fight crime as...
Yes.
Chicken Man.
Chicken Man?
Chicken Man.
Benton Harbor opens the large suitcase. He removes from it a strange costume covered with thousands of tiny feathers. Immediately, he begins climbing into it.
Would somebody give me a hand?
Of course.
Certainly. Just hold up the left wing, please. That's it. Fine. There you go. Miss Helfinger will need to know how to get in touch with Mr. Harbor. Now the right wing.
May I have your phone number, Mr. Harbor?
Of course. Watch the feathers, please. My phone number is...
Well, born this day in Midland City... the white-winged warrior who will strike terror into the hearts of criminals everywhere.
Would somebody want to get my zipper back there, please?
Yes, of course.
Oh, watch it back there.
And here are some final words from our general manager here at WFLO, Francis Wood.
After almost 75 years, it has finally come time for WFLO AM and WFLO FM to leave the airwaves. This was a difficult decision to make. At best, it's bittersweet. By now, you've heard or read what was behind this decision, so I'll not dwell on that. Instead, I'd like to thank the many local businesses that have entrusted WFLO to represent them over the years. We did our best to help you grow your businesses, and your investment in us kept us going for 3/4 of a century. We'd also like to thank our vast radio audience, which has not only allowed us into their homes, but also into their lives over these years. This is not something we ever took lightly. You were the ones we wanted to inform and entertain. We have often stated that we here at WFLO are a family, but you are also a part of our family. We designed our varied programming with you in mind. As John Wilson often said, WFLO is a full-service hometown radio station. It was your station. We did it all, and we hope that you feel we did it right. As president and general manager of Colonial Broadcasting Company Incorporated of Farmville, Virginia, I want to thank also the current employees at WFLO for your loyalty and professionalism. You have all brought your individual talents and characters into this community radio station, and it has been my honor to work with you and call you my friends. It is our hope that you will all remember WFLO for the unique radio station that it has been over the years, and that you will recall the many voices heard over its airwaves with fondness. We were your radio station. We wish you all the best in the future. Now, this is Francis Wood for WFLO AM and WFLO FM in Farmville, Virginia, signing off and bidding you farewell.
That's all, folks.